Hi, I'm Jennifer from Shabby Fabrics. Just look at this adorable quilted Christmas tree made with 2.5-inch strips and lots of pins, and then this cone that's very available. Joann's, Michael's, I think we picked this up at Joann's. This is such a fun project that you can do with your kids. It's a great way to use up scraps, or if you want to make things easy, we have this beautiful package of greens. This is from Wilmington Fabrics. It's called the Essential Gems, and this is the Emerald Forest Collection. So what we did, we opened up the package and we just cut those into 2.5-inch squares. The strips are already 2.5 inches, so just use your ruler and your rotary cutter and just cut those into 2.5-inch squares. Now you'll need a couple for the bottom of your Christmas tree. So we just cut those a little bit longer. Looks like those are 6 inches. So that's where you'll actually start. Now these are just little straight pins here. I'll show those to you. I don't even know what size that is. Just something that is, you know, a good inch and a half that's going to go inside the cone and hold the fabric steady. So the first thing that you'll do, let me show you the bottom of this. There's 3 strips here. So you just want to lay those on there and you'll just pin those into place. Now most of this is going to be covered up by the next layer. So don't worry about everything being just as smooth as possible, because the next layer tends to really disguise any imperfections. This is a great project, like I said, to do with company or with your kids or grandkids, because everyone can really jump in and maybe add a layer to this. So we'll just continue layering this on here as such, and you get the idea that we're just trying to cover up the base. So you just kind of keep going, pinning that into position. And if I need to make a little pleat like that to make it lay flat, go ahead and do that. Let's put that in like that. So I want to show you that again. So if you need just a little pleat so it'll lie down, go ahead and do that. Don't be afraid to kind of just make it work, because as I said, the next layer will completely cover up anything. Now you don't want pins on the bottom. Notice how there's no pins showing. So just keep the pins up and into this part of the Christmas tree. So we will keep going real fast with that, because the next layer we'll start putting on the bottom row of the tree. Okay, so we're ready to go. You see that? Now let's put that aside for just a moment and let's get out our 2.5-inch squares. Super simple. You're going to do the same step over and over and over. You're just going to fold that corner to corner and press. And you'll do the same thing one more time. Okay, now notice how the bottom row, we kind of went past the bottom. So it has that nice flare out like a Christmas tree does. So when you come to your cone here, you're just going to make sure that this bottom row is about hanging down about the same amount. Put a pin in the corner here. Oh, I got 2 of them there. Put a pin here and a pin there. And we'll do it again. Just press and press and change it up. You know, that's what I love about this Essential Gems pack, is every fabric is different. So that's what makes it so interesting. So try to put, you know, that's a light or a bright one, and maybe I'll put a darker one. Maybe I won't put that because they're both polka dots, but maybe I'll put this one instead. But you get the idea that you want to kind of think about light, dark, changing up the pattern. Now watch it overlap about 1/2 inch, overlapping the bottom about the same distance. And again, I'm just going to pin in place. Now I'll continue doing this all the way around the bottom, so the bottom row is established. And then I want to show you how to do the second row. And then we will just continue alternating those 2 types of rows all the way up to the top. So when I come back, this whole bottom row will be done and we're ready to go to the second row. Now that the first row has been established, you can see that there's the gaps in between those points. We'll use more of our squares that are now triangles, and we'll just put those in those gaps. Again, overlapping the bottom at the same distance. You can see this is a very logical, easy craft to do. I like projects like this that don't require a lot of thinking. You can hear, be watching a movie or listening to a movie or visiting with people, company, whatnot. Okay, so you see how I did that in the gap. Do the same thing, overlapping, and you'll just continue around, and you will repeat this process as you continue up. Now, before we go all the way to the top, I want to make sure I cover the top of the cone, because as the layers build toward the very top, we want to go ahead and have the top covered now, so those layers will continue to hold down this top piece. So this is a little bit awkward as you get toward the top because it's very narrow there. And this is the type of craft that I call just make it work. I know I need to get that covered, the top covered with a piece of fabric. So I'm just putting in pins on all 4 sides like this. And then I'll go ahead and I'll just tuck those in. Like I said, just make it work. And you know what I mean by that. Sometimes there's a very specific way to do something, and sometimes you're just trying to get a job done and you do what works for you. So right now, this is what works for me, is just making these little pleats coming forward like that. And we'll do one more from the side, like that. So now we're ready to finish our second row and continue building all the way up to the top. And as we get toward the top here, there's just a few extra techniques we need to do to finish off the top of our Christmas tree. And look how it builds so beautifully and quick. Now my Christmas tree is built all the way to the top, and now how do I finish this? So you'll need a couple more squares. As you can see right now, those pins are showing. So we'll just do a little bit of disguising here of our next layers. I folded these just like I folded the other ones. What I want to do on these is you're just kind of, rather than just pinning right here, I'm just kind of coming in up underneath. Actually, let's go ahead and push that one straight in. But this point here, we kind of want to get that to lay down. See how I just went inside that little fold and I'm coming in at an angle? That way you're hiding that pin head so it's not showing. Again, make it work. You know what I mean by that, where it's just awkward, but you need to get that done. This is that step right now. So again, we're going to go ahead, I'll let that pin show because there's going to be one more piece of green over the top, and I'm going to show you how to fold that one. It's a little bit different than any of the others. And that little flap, you know what? I'm going to let that little flap be open. I like that. Oh, I got that poking out there. Okay, so the very top that's going to cover this top of our cone, just grab a square. I'll show you what this looks like. We've got one done ahead of time. It might even be easier for you to see it. So it was just a square. And the only thing that we did is differently is just quickly find your center by folding half and in half again. I'll put a little crease right there. And fold your sides in toward that center. Okay, like that. You can even press as you go if it's too much to hang on to. We'll do that again. There we go. So that's what got us to this stage here. And then you're just going to bring those points up to the middle, those corners, all the way around. It doesn't need to be perfect. This is definitely an imperfect science crafting. We just make things work. Okay. Now all of my points are going toward the middle, and I'm just going to turn that over and give it one more good press. So that's how I had gotten to this point. Okay. Now you'll take this to the top, and this one is just going to go over the top like this. And you'll just do your best to get in those little folds, kind of hiding your pins. Make it work. This is a make it work type project. There. So I kind of just hid that one. And same, oh, we're going to hide that pin underneath there. Yep. Just kind of maneuver your fabric around till those pins are gone. You're out of sight. And I'll just pin those other two sides. So now that this last pin is going in and my top is covered and my pins are covered, there we go. I might put in one more pin, or I'd just maybe grab a dab of hot glue, whatever works. Just know if you do get the hot glue going, don't use it on the styrofoam. Boy, it melts it so fast. Now for the star, we used our small star shabby shapes, exclusively available from Shabby Fabrics. We just picked 2 of the gold stars out of there. All you'll do is just peel off the paper backing. There's Heat and Bond Light on the back. And all you'll do is get a pin with the pin head, oh, I don't know, about a 1/2 inch inside there. Put the other shabby shape on top, glue them together, and then your Christmas tree is complete. So I hope you enjoyed making the quilted Christmas tree with Shabby Fabrics.